Hello there, everybody. It's HeroicLegend here, and we are starting the new Let's Play today. That's right, there's going to be no preview thing, and then, the next few days. Nope, it is the new, I might do a little something. But I bet you're all wondering what it is. Now, I don't like to spoil things right off the bat, so we're going to look, maybe there's a hint here. Oh my goodness, Heroic, you dastardly man, you. What could you be doing? What could you be planning? Are you going to actually go through war for it? No. So, I have a few games up here that I could very feasibly make a Let's Play of. There's SD Gundam. I could go back to Dark Souls. There's Salt and Sacrifice, Salt and Sanctuary. Hell, I could do the story mode stuff of Vampire Survivors. That could be interesting. No. What we're doing is a master... No. It is Dragon Quest Monsters, The Dark Prince. I'm going to give a brief aside before we load up. I love the Dragon Quest Monsters games. Unironically. I have nothing but fond memories for them. I played it in recent years, and I still have a fondness for it. I have the player's guide. I almost want to get another copy just so I can keep one preserved. I want to do my own rendition of a type of player's guide for this. Just because I want to. Because I want to see it thrive. Now, because the game, I have the DLC for the game, and I feel like that would make it too easy for certain things, I've added a few stipulations to it. I'm not going to do every Let's Play as a challenge Let's Play to add more, stuff to it, but I would like to add something. So for this one, I've devised a few rules. There is a list of them. I'll be giving them once we're in, but first, let's start. Of course, we go in English. There's just something about that opening. It just makes me happy. It makes me smile. However,
Hey, babe.
there we go. Alrighty. Now, I love the Dragon Quest series. And actually, while we're on this screen, I think now's the time to do it. So, for people who want to read, I'm going to probably have up the, the rules and such for the Let's Play, like right then and like right up here. So I'll just be basically saying like, we'll say starting now is when you're going to see the rules, right? So, let everyone who wants to read. There's a lot of rules. I don't know if they're all going to be, like, all up at once, if I can fit it there, or if I'm just going to go ahead and be like, you know what, I'll just, like, have them fade in, fade out. I think there's enough space for stuff, but anyway. Now that everyone's had time to read it, I'm going to say the rules. Of course, you could just, like, hit the K key a few times if you've already read it yourself. But, the rules for this challenge. First off, rule number 1. I must always have a slime family monster or a large monster on the team at all times. I'll explain what this means later on as we get into it, but Second, a few things that are going to happen, because I've obviously played this game. I have my own personal data, which is why you're not seeing it on the Heroic account, but rather the Heroic YT. Second, I am not allowed to look at reversed synthesis. Once again, that will be explained as it comes up. Fast traveling to Rose Hill is only allowed if my monster's been KO'd. This will stop me from rushing back every time, like, something's weak and then zooming right back out. Maybe I'll include another rule later on that's like, oh, I can only walk to locations, you know. Add a bit more flavor and feel to the game so we can explore the world and see it. I am rank locked. What does that mean? In this game, monsters go from rank G all the way to X. In order to keep the progression from spiraling out of control, like just right past all challenges, I want to challenge myself. I want to make this like a difficult thing to try and do. So, what does that mean? For the lower floor, for the early part of the lower floors, spoilers. For the early part of the game, I will be using only G, F, and E monsters. For the middle part of the game, for that progression, D, C, and B. And finally, for the end game stuff, A, S, and X. The only exceptions to this rules are hatched monsters and gifted monsters, but if I do choose to use those monsters, they will go on the reserved team. I am not allowed to keep the main party unless they are synthesized and basically my creatures, right? Rule 5. Reserved monsters are only allowed on the team if a monster has been KO'd. Basically, and also the reserve team must mirror my main team. That means it either has to have a slime family monster or a large monster in it. Whichever one I pick for the main team, the backup team has to have it too. If I have a large monster, the backup team has to have the large monster. If I have all small monsters but a slime family, it has to be a slime family. Doesn't matter. 6. I title this as Guiding Health, but you can always just, you know, there's a couple of things you can say about it. But for me personally, it goes as such. If I want outside influence, as I've done before with my many coughing fits, I need to get it from Jamer. Jamer is only allowed to give me help in vague hints. So he will have to figure out what's vague enough and what's hinty enough. He's not going to baby me. He's my big brother. He knows that if he babies me too much, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be a challenge. So you can count on him to treat me properly for this. Rule number 7. All team member synthesis must happen on screen. What does that mean? If I am making a monster for the main party, you all have to see it. I'm not allowed to be like, oh yeah, this new episode I did some grinding off screen. Look at the monster. No. The on-screen stuff has to be... everything that is story-based has to be on screen. No exceptions. Nada. So that's also to keep me in check, because, again, in games like this, I like to grind a lot. I believe in the Let's Play for Tara, I did a lot of off-screen grinding, and you didn't necessarily always see when my team members were always, like, you know, changing and stuff. So, I want to avoid that here. I want you guys to be as much part of this journey as I am. Rule 8. All team members, reserve and main, must be named and must keep their names even during grandfathering. Well, grandparenting. Again, that will also be explained later. But effectively, I want to make sure that these monsters are just as much a part of the journey, and their names too, as you all will be, and as I am. It's a team effort, it's a team idea. It's also to give it more flavor, make it feel more real, you know? Rule 9. The DLC is off limits during recordings unless I am doing the treasure one. We will see what that means in due time. An item from the DLC as well as the base game, bonus balls. Bonus balls are only allowed during grind sessions. An addendum: if a video is a grind session video, I must still follow all the above rules. What does that mean? Sometimes I'm going to feel like, before I want to progress, I want to grind a little more just for my own safety, especially if I feel like I'm underpowered or underleveled. However, I will also not want to bore you with it, so grind ones are probably not going to be as frequent as the Dragon Quest XI Let's Play. But I will be making sure that whenever I do grind, if it is a video session, well, a recording session, I'm going to make sure that I try to make it entertaining and fun. And again, if I use the bonus ball, you'll also be seeing me like making probably jokes about it as such. I'm surprised I've been so mature, but you know, rules. Continuing on. Rule 11. No save scumming. A loss is a loss, be it during tourneys or story. This stopped me from being like, oh no, the Switch broke. It's funny, yeah, it's a gag, yeah, it's a bit, yeah. But I want to make sure that, like, no matter what happens, you see the progression, you feel the losses. I didn't, sugarcoat, I didn't cut out any of the, sad moments within the Nuzlocke. I don't want to cut that out here either. The loss is lost, we take it, we use it for story, whatever. Rule number 12. This one is another personal rule to keep things fair and balanced. Seeds can only be used after synthesis at level 1. Past level 1, not allowed. This is to keep me from basically, like, stepping on my monster's foot, shoving all the seeds that will upgrade them in their mouth, and then being like, yeah, no, now we can handle it. No. They must be given at the earliest part to see if it was even worth it. It may have been a waste. It's all for me to determine, as the Let's Play goes on. Rule number 13. The top talent must always be taken for synthesis. The only exception is if the top talent is a degraded version of a talent that the monster has already had. Again, that will be explained as time goes on. Rule number 14. This one's a personal rule. Jamer must pick one family for a member of the party. So, effectively, if I choose to have a slime, I may be locked into having 2 party members strictly of this family type on the team. Now, the only exception to this is the crown or the question mark team, and that is because I don't believe I can get any of them early on, and I believe the lowest ranking one is a C. So it already breaks some of the rules. However, if Jamer says, use a dragon family, use a material family, use a devil family, any one of those at my earliest convenience must be obtained, put on the team, and used. No exception. I will, of course, have Jamer speak as to which family it is so that we can lock it in permanently, but we go into the last rule. Every on-screen battle must be done with orders. Slip-ups are okay, but should not be common. What does this mean? During the game, you have 2 forms of fighting. You have attack, where you send out your monster to attack, and they will do things determined on how you set their tactics. I will also be setting their tactics, so that way when if they ever do slip up, they're doing what I would want them to do anyway. What does this mean? I want to keep this as authentic to the Dragon Quest monsters that I feel in my heart is in this game. I want to make sure that while we're playing, you know that I am in control, I am in charge, I am ordering my monsters to do as I need them to do. Period. What does this mean? I want to make sure that every time I select an attack, it is my judgment, it is my call, because at times, monsters will do things that their AI tells them to do. And sometimes that's a stupid thing. Sometimes they'll see their teammate living on death's door, and even though they have a big heal and they're at full health, they'll still just try to attack. Now, sometimes they know more than I do. I've seen them use a physical attack and not waste MP to take out a monster. Sometimes they'll cast a spell on a monster that's had bounce. You make it make sense. Now, those are all the rules in place. This is how the challenge run will begin for the Let's Play. Before we begin, Jamer, what family are we having on our party? Line's already on the list. Pick a different one. Demon. Okay, so Jamer has selected Demon for our family. So now, I have to pick between Slime or Large, and then I also have to have a Demon on the team. But enough with the fluff and fancy. Let's get into it. These are the DLCs. The only DLC that's an exception also is the Princess Patch. You'll see what I mean later. What is our name? We are going to keep it classic because it is his story, actually. I will also be going very quiet during these cutscenes, that way you all have the chance to enjoy this. But if you do enjoy it, please pick up the game yourselves. It's fun, trust me.
Uh-oh, this isn't good.
Hey? A human whelp, by the looks of him. Hang about. This isn't any ordinary human. Gorin, help me get him inside.
If he's no ordinary human, what's he supposed to be?
He is none other than Randolfo the Tyrant's son, a prince amongst us monster folk.
Randolfo's son? But he looks like any other human.
They say Randolfo had a child with a human woman, but the boy's whereabouts were unknown.
But what would he be doing here in Naderia now?
Well...
Just so you all know, there's going to be a lot of story here. Please do sit tight. I'm trying to speak between it so the copyrights don't come after me.
There you are, darling. Have those bullies been picking on you again?
But you're tougher than anyone, Your Highness. Why not show them who's boss next time?
No, Gloopet. Listen carefully. No matter what happens, you are not to lay a finger on a human. You are not like them. And that means you have to try twice as hard as anyone else to be human, if not harder.
Alright, mate. You're the one what moved into that little hut in the woods, ain't ya? You sneaky rotter. Hey, stop that! Oh, what do you want, Evan? I suppose you think you're some kind of hero wanting to protect this idiot. Ow, that hurts. Are you all right there? I guess neither of us is much of a hero. The Shriveler. It got my dad. And after it strikes, he comes back for the whole family. He's going to get me and my sister.
Are you ready for the worst character in any Dragon Quest game? I hope you are.
What's monster kind royalty doing in a piddling backwater like this?
Is that you? How come you're so strong? And what did it mean, monster kind royalty?
I'll hold my comments till after the cutscene is done. The cutscenes.
Spread out! We'll catch that silver-haired brat!
My darling, listen to me. You have to remember, each of us is burdened with our own destiny. My darling boy, please embrace your humanity. Your father rules over Naderia, but that is not your concern. Just please, whatever you do, stay away from him. I beg you.
Lady Miriam! Oh. Thankfully, she's just snoozing. Where are you going, Your Highness? Naderia? Don't go, Your Highness. Come back!
I haven't forgotten. I'm just waiting. You're gonna see why.
Ah, I see you're awake. I know you've come a long way, but you'd best give up on your plan to see your father. Not interested in my warning, I see.
She's come all this way alone. Impressive. Though I wouldn't expect any less from one of your sons, Randolfo, my lord.
Tell me, boy of mine. Why do you return to the underworld, from which you are an outcast? It is certainly within my power to ease your mother's pain. But... You intend to take arms against me? Very well. Allow me to show you exactly where you stand.
are now cursed, unable to harm creatures of monster blood. That should deter you from returning here. Now prepare to be sent to the end of time itself! You again.
So you are here, progeny of human and monster. I am the one who sees all. I am sorry to tell you that your mother passed a short while ago. Henceforth, you will do as she wished and live your life as a human. I shall remove the monster blood that courses through your veins for you. Why do you resist? I see. So you would have your revenge by deposing him and taking his title as Master of Monster Kind. For this, you will require the strength of a monster, no doubt. Very well. You are the master of your own destiny.
Keep this line in mind. This is a story of an oft-heard but yet untold, a tale made new in the telling. Forgive me for butchering that. Now, I unfortunately have to inform everyone that, unlike previous titles, this one, while it may have a plethora of monsters, quite a few tend to be recolors, and quite a few than that.
Wakey, lad. It's only me, Royston. You were moaning and groaning a fair bit. Bad dreams, I take it. Oh, Monty asked about you, by the way. Let's go see him when you get the chance.
Okay. So, we now can play the game. I will now go on to explain a lot. First things first. Unlike in previous titles, well, I suppose it's not super fair, but yeah, the monster quality has dipped a bit. They've added a lot. They've definitely added a lot. But it's kind of pitiful, really. It makes me a little sad when I think about all the reskins and recolors. Although they have added a bunch of new monsters from the other games. So you will see some ones that I may have fought in 11. You may see some ones that I fought against in older titles as well. The recolors, while a little bit underwhelming, do of course offer up, better stats, better talents, stuff like that. Now, can we sit and talk for a moment how Evan is the worst person ever? Can we? I also apologize a little bit because I think I skipped through some of Randolfo's talking like, I can do that, but... And then I thought that was the end of it. But yeah, Evan. We not only potentially saved him and his sister, we ended up legitimately taking down a monster that was apparently terrorizing the town. And how do they repay us? He's a monster! Kill him! Remember, they burned down our hut that we were living in, which forced our mother to move around, though she was weakened and sick. It's wild to me. It's crazy. I don't. A lot of the problems in Dragon Quest games is sometimes the people don't act like real people. And no one in the village said, "Hey, hang on a minute. He took out that monster, didn't he? Why don't we? That guy must have just gotten also taken out in the process. Just like, we can't have no monster lovers." But yes, we are playing Pizarro. If you know the older games, Pizarro was a monster that was a question mark family rank. But Pizarro was also not looking this handsome. Now, we of course have our friend.
By the way...
Sure. Will you be busy looking for a way to undo your curse again today, Your Highness? I'm not complaining, but I wish you had more slime to hang out with me. Say precious, Gloopert. Say precious. If you ever get stuck and aren't sure where to go next, see if you can spot a pink speech bubble. The person you find there might be able to point you in the right direction. In case your current objective is marked on the map with a red icon. Top right tree and you'll find a handy mini-map. Yeah. So, this is the area that obviously Pizarro went to and is living in. We have a bunch of people we can talk to. Funny enough, these are not humans. Well, I believe most of them are anyway. In fact, this is a horse. He says nay. We're doing a little bit of exploring and a little bit of vandalism a la Zelda. Right here looks like a nice spot for something, don't you all think? We can hear the music. You already know I'm loving this. Honestly, I've played a lot of Dragon Quest games. I'm surprised I haven't listed it as one of my favorite series, because it genuinely is up there. The Builders, Heroes, 11, 3. I do want to go back and try to do more of 1, and even 2. Which, again, this is where this character came from. I played the Monster series, both Kobe, Tara, and Joker. And I believe Joker 2 as well, which were DS exclusives. And playing this one, and having a lot of fun with it. The Dragon Quest games are just a good time to me, even though they make me sad. Oh, there's also the really fun one, Sentinels of the Starry Sky, which I think could also be remade on the Switches, especially with the possibilities there. But, again, hopes and expectations. I also do know that there was a remake of the Kobe and Tara games, although they were called different names in Japan, where the game now sits there forever, out of my reach. Let's talk to the folks. Zachariah. I heard even the most distinguished sage in the land couldn't rid you of that curse. Well, I suppose it's back to the drawing board then. I'll be sure to keep asking around while my travels. Hey up, Pizarro. Don't forget to pay Monty a visit, will you? He'll be mooching around behind the corner of his shop just across the way. Oh! Hello, kitten. I gotta be careful if the cat, if my old cat hears you, will be like, hey. Alright. In here is the inn. Hey up, lad. I trust you're fine in Fettle. You're in fine Fettle and haven't any bumps or bruises? Inns are a spot you can go to recover as well. I probably will not be leasing them when I get low on stuff either. I'll try to tough it out, but poor dwarf Sakurai doesn't half get around. He's been everywhere. Isn't it amazing? When I grow up, I want to be just like him. Yeah, we're in the village of dwarves. They're dwarven people. I don't know if they're all dwarves, but... Oh, I do want to say hello to the nun. As well as the person in here. Again, we want to get a feel for the world. This is the new Let's Play, so let's explore it. Rose Hill is where we dwarves call home. It's a real haven where we can hide away from human folk and bardy monsters. There's all sorts of bandits lurking out there, so be sure to watch yourself whenever you leave the village. Yeah, I don't understand the racism amongst the humans in this game, especially when there are monsters everywhere. You'd think they'd want to be, teamed up with the other humanoid races. But that's just me. Pot! How long's it been since you first came here? Well, however long it's been, I hope you think of us as family now. We're always here to help you, Thank you, sister. Oh, there he goes. Monty!
What do you reckon?
Oh, there you are, lad. Well, I'm sure you know why I'm so eager to see you. That's right, I want to talk about that curse of yours, the one that stops you from harming monsters. I know you've been burning the midnight oil, researching ways to rid yourself of it. We've got you to thank for that magic barrier protecting Rose Hill from human folk and wild monsters. I actually missed this line when I was playing. I did not realize that the reason why Rose Hill has been okay so far is because of Pizarro. Neat. He's actually apparently very strong. Everyone in the village is grateful to you, lad. I think you just wandered in lost one day. Now, you're like family. Truth be told, we're no closer than finding a cure for your curse than that day you came. Which is why I think it's time to try a new approach. That approach is, hold on a minute, where to put my blessed notes. Let's get ready for cutscenes!
Hey? What's all this?
Oh, Blumenek. Don't tell me.
So this is the village he's hiding in.
That unironically sounds like Frieza now that I hear it so close.
So your blighters are back again, are ya? Well, I'm not stunned for it. This one's no pushover.
You really think you stand a chance against us? Who do we have here? You look like him. You smell like him. No doubt about it. You're the one our master seeks.
Get away! You can't do it!
What's the matter, boy? Struck dumb with fear, are you?
You can't! You can't do harm to a monster!
It's your lucky day. A certain important someone wants a word with you. What? What?
Right, my darlings. Kindly let these manky monsters know they've outstayed their welcome.
Curse you! We'll be back. And next time, you'll be coming with us.
You're not hurt, are you, lad? Good. Good. I'm just glad I made it in time. I knew we'd be having unwelcome guests again, but I just didn't expect them quite so soon. You're keen to know who these monsters are? Well, I'll tell you all about it later. First things first, we need to tend to the injured. And I've got just the monster for the job. This way. Now, lad, where were we? As I'm sure you know, this isn't the first time monsters have come to the village hoping to find you. We've all banded together and fought them off. But each time they come back stronger. We can't hold them off forever. Now, you're going to have to learn to protect yourself, my lad. You're going to have to become a monster wrangler. Do you know what one of them is? Oh, right. Well, anyway, I'm talking about the mighty gladiators who marshal their monstrous troops in battle. I just know you'll be a natural, lad. After all, it's in your blood. Why don't I get you started with one of my little lot? I'll ask you a few questions, and I'm sure we'll be able to pair you up with the perfect monster.
Now, normally I'd probably stop the video here and maybe like ask around and see what I should do. For this, I'm going to take the time to think a bit, and maybe we start the next video with what monster we get. Alright. Yeah, no, I sort of took a moment to like debate internally with myself. Maybe I talked to Jamer about it, who knows? But I do want to start the next video with getting our first monster getting started. So we're gonna end it here. But yeah. Like I said, I love this game. I genuinely do. I've already put in my like personal time, I think about 80 hours so far, and I'm not done with the game yet. Now, it's not going to take that long to complete the Let's Play, I promise you that, and not every video is going to be this long. But, you know, first episode and stuff. Plus, I'm also going to have to figure out, there's going to be quite a bit of recording done today. Anyway. I want to thank you all for watching, I do hope you enjoyed this. If you like this, you know what to do. Much appreciate you if you do. And until the next one, I just want to say, laters.